Now I am going to turn this over to our speaker, Jerry Shuda. Did I say that correctly?
Shuda, yeah.
Shuda, okay. And there's my little piece of paper here. Before he came to SaddleBrooke 18 years ago, he was a deputy sheriff in California. Interesting how we make our choices and how we have new interests when we retire, right? Yeah. And he has run the Catalina State Park Nature Program for 12 years. He's a naturalist who says he knows and has pictures of every animal in or near SaddleBrooke, perhaps excluding some insects. He calls his talk Animals in the Hood. Jerry says that there are many of these animals that you may have never seen, but he guarantees that they are here because he has seen them. And his colleague Jim Clore is here with him, and he's going to introduce Jim. So I am going to put you on your title page, and all you have to do is hit all those little tabs. Okay. Rick? All right.
I can't handle that. There we go. All right.
All right.
All
Rick?
set? Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Good afternoon. Sorry we're running a little bit late here. First thing I want to do is introduce Jim Clore. Jim Clore started the Catalina Nature Program 24 years ago, okay? And I've got some information here, buried here now. I think it's important that those of you who do not know Jim Clore get to know him. He is an idea man, and just for SaddleBrooke alone, he started things for nature and education experience, children, adults, school, HOA employees, Catalina State Park Program, wildlife photographers, SaddleBrooke residents, Jim's Corner every Tuesday at the Roadrunner Grill. New people are welcomed into there every Tuesday, and he can answer questions about the wildlife. People come here from the East Coast, and they will move here for the weather, not knowing that, yeah, we have rattlesnakes and scorpions and cactus that prickles you and sticks you. I've had people say, man, everything either sticks you or bites you or stings you. And I'm going, where are you from? New Jersey. I said, well, why did you move here? Well, for the weather. I said, well, you gotta get it all. I mean, you can't just get part of it. Pest management operation, trapping, consulting, primary rodents, HOA and golf maintenance, buildings, facilities, wildlife conservation, critter relocation, animal rescue and Tucson wildlife rescue, habitat restoration. He and his crew have put in over 60 bird houses and turtle rafts in SaddleBrooke. Additional programs, we do a kids dig, critters day, bunkhouse tours, rock garden, public speakers. I don't know where he gets all the ideas, but I told him to stop because he has us do all this stuff. He calls me up, he says, Jerry, I got a new idea. Oh, geez, Jim, really? But they are terrific. I'm asking all of you folks, welcoming you now to, on your way out, grab one of my business cards. We are doing programs at Catalina State Park in what we call the bunkhouse. It's an old house for the Romero Ranch. It's real adobe, and it's been remodeled. It's air conditioned. It's even got a toilet. So it's pretty cool. We're very proud of it. It's taken years for us to get it remodeled. We run on donations only. We don't get money from the state or anything like that. People always think we do because it's now Catalina State Park Nature Program, but we rely on donations. If you folks have people from wherever you're from that want to know about the Sonoran Desert, call me up. We'll put a private program together at Catalina State Park. They're very successful. They're very good. They're very informative. We like to entertain and educate at the same time. And if you've got kids or grandkids, I like 5-year-old to 11, 12, 13-year-olds. After that, they don't care much about stuff. But that age group, oh my goodness, we've got a program for them that just won't quit. They'll take home a little cigar box full of goodies, magnifying glasses and magnets and lots of neat stuff. We're very proud of it. Another one of Jim's ideas. I now have to go and buy all that stuff, but No more ideas, Jim. This got to stop. But anyway, it really is. We're very proud of the program. We welcome all of you to come to Catalina State Park, either privately or from October to April. We have a program every Saturday, barring bad weather. And this year we had a lot of it. But if the weather's good, we're there from 10 to 1. And we get 300 to 1,000 people go through that program in that amount of time. Now, what's really neat, and I'm soliciting, we have 25 volunteers that help us do that. There's 4 or 5 of us that do the primary work at the bunkhouse in Catalina State Park, but we've got great volunteers the last couple of years that help put on this program, and it's a lot of work. You saw the few animals out there? Took a couple of us to load that stuff up, put them in the tanks, put them in the truck, get them down here, unload them. We do that every week during the main part of the year. So we do a lot of work. We're very proud of the program, and we just would like you to come out and look at it and share it with your relatives and your grandkids and kids, okay? Jim Clore, when did you move in here, Jim? What year? Remember? So he's been here since '98, and he's been improving this stuff all the time. Pack rats, mice, on and on and on. How many pack rats have you trapped over the last 20 years? 10,000? Easily. I mean, literally. And we like to teach people about how to trap them without using poison. And I didn't plan to do this, but I'm going to. About an hour.
Jerry, does this work?
Yeah.
They can hear me.
Yes.
Oh, I was going to mention I know you didn't want to go with that program, but butterfly. What do they call those chicken wings that they cook?
Buffalo wings or?
Buffalo wings. Yeah. I was thinking with the pack rats, how about buffalo legs?
Yeah.
You get twice as many.
Use the same sauce, it tastes the same, wouldn't it? Yeah.
No, I'm sure it would.
An hour before I came down here, I got a call. The lady says, HOA2 says maybe you'd help us. We've got a glue trap in the garage with a snake in it. We don't know if it's a rattlesnake or not. I said, and I hate glue traps, and I'm going to show you why. So I ran over there, and sure enough, a glue trap with a beautiful night snake. I opened up the glue trap, the whiptail lizard, 5 cockroaches, and a bunch of bugs, okay? Beautiful night snake, all mired down in that muck. I hate these with a passion. Jim and I have spent years trying to tell people how to use these properly, or don't use them, how to use poison properly. Don't use it to get pack rats. He's cut down with his information, he's cut down the secondary poisoning probably 90%. There's still people who just won't adhere to our suggestions, and they get the poison rat goes out in the desert, and a coyote eats it, a hawk eats it, and dies. It used to be horrible. It's gotten much better lately. But we don't like losing. These are beneficial animals, okay? I know not a lot of you don't want to touch a snake and don't like snakes, but trust me, they're there for a reason, and we're wiping out their habitat. Let's not wipe out the snakes. So I'm sorry I got on my high horse, but please don't use glue traps. If you want to use them inside your house for some reason, that's fine. But if you put them in your garage, there's always that little hole between the slabs where these things get in, they get in there, and it's a horrible, painful, slow death. I hate it. So anyway, thank you. So, I think what we'll do, I'm going to show you pictures of the wildlife that you may encounter in and around SaddleBrooke. Some of it may be in Catalina State Park up the side of the mountain where the water's at. Some of it may be out near SaddleBrooke Ranch, Willow Springs Ranch Road. Within 15, 20 miles of this area, all of these animals can be found because this is where I shot the pictures.
Jerry, before you get into that, I'm thinking we should show them the rarest thing that you see in SaddleBrooke, since we happen to have one here. Just got it the other day. And this is a box that one of my volunteers made. It's got a warning on it. What's the warning say, Jerry? It says, caution, open with care, baby rattlers. Okay?
You brought one in a box?
Yeah, but you know how to handle it. So, well,
I'm sorry.
I mean, how many of you have seen rattlesnakes? Don't open it yet, because I want to get away from it. How many of you have seen rattlesnakes here? Yeah, most of them.
Well, baby's no big deal, right?
No, the baby rattlers are rare. And we happen to have one. So if you'll take it out and show him,
Why am I going to take it out?
because I think he's asleep.
Well, I'll be darned. You rascal. See what I've got to put up with? Oh, man.
I mean, I haven't seen a baby rattler here for
3 days.
a long time now. You know, I've been to a couple of weddings since I've been here. I've been to an uncountable number of memorial services, unfortunately, but not one baby shower since I've been here.
Anyway, I love this man. I met him 12 years ago. I read all of his articles in the Saddlebag Notes, and I had an incident next door to me where somebody had an owl that was down, and I went over to look at it. I used to have a menagerie bigger than what we got at Catalina State Park in my garage, but I can't do that anymore, right? Well, I shouldn't. Anyway, so I took the owl, I called up Jimmy, he says, yeah, bring it over. He and I met, talked, I fell in love with this man, and he put me in charge of the Catalina State Park Nature Program. And it's been wonderful ever since. He's kept me, you know, he used to play golf, and a lot of you are golfers. I don't golf. I don't chase wild women anymore. This is all I've got going for me is this wildlife program, so bear with me. All right, we're going to show some pictures, and if you've got a really serious question, go ahead and raise your hand. We'll talk about it right now. If not, I'm just going to run through these. There's a lot of photographs. But again, these are animals you might see around here. They told me it works like this. I'll be darned, it does. Wow, cool. All right, I'm going to do this. All right. What did I do? Not now. Boy, see, I'm glad something was okay. Very common in our area. We have set up a smorgasbord for all of our critters. Hawks, owls, bobcats, coyotes, mountain lions. Golf course is just full of bunny rabbits and gophers and all kinds of good stuff. I know some of you don't like them in your yard. I've lost a dog to one. I almost lost a dog to a coyote just last month. You got to be with them. I'm going to put this in right now too. When you're walking your dog around the golf course, please don't use those long extendable leashes. I know 2 women now, they're walking along having a good time, and the coyotes from back going, looks pretty good. I think I can handle that one. And a dead run, boom, right out of their hand, the dog's gone. Just walk it right there, okay? You'll maybe not lose your dog that way. That's what they look like in your yard, right? What I suggest doing is enjoying them. I get calls, Jim gets calls, and they say, I've got a bobcat. It's on my chase lounge and it's giving birth. What do I do? I say enjoy it. But they're going, I want it out of here. So we explain to them the easiest way to get them off your property without hurting them. So we will help you out with those things. But why would you want that out of your yard? I understand if you got a cat or no cats in your yard. That's inside, right? Nobody has outdoor cats, right? Oh, good. That's what a bobcat does in SaddleBrooke. I went to this lady's house. She says, I've got a bobcat on this deer, and it's killing it. And I'm going, cool, all right. So I drove over there real quick, and sure enough, she's sitting in her cubby hole looking out of her bay window, and there's this mule deer with a bobcat on its back. Already ripped out the jugular vein. It's bleeding to death. I said, all right, I'm going to put it down, which I did. And I said, can I put it around your wall, which is, out there is desert, and then I'm going to come back and take pictures. She said, absolutely. I shot pictures for 3 days. This was, look, according to how much meat's missing, about 3 days in. Anyway, that's the male, or the female, and the male came in later. I don't take photographs for your consumption at zoos, but these are hard to come by. So this guy is an old lion that was at the Desert Museum, so I did take his picture. He passed shortly after that. This is one, Jim and I were out one night rattlesnake hunting, not rattlesnake, snake hunting, and this guy ran across the road in front of us, and we stopped the car and reached out and shot its picture. And this is a young cat. Its mom and one other baby were right around the corner from us. We got to see them too. Coyotes, mini coyotes. You're going to see them. They get calls, Jerry, I think we've got a wolf in our yard. And I'm going, you know, I don't want to make them sound like they're stupid, but we don't have wolves here, okay? We have large coyotes and winter fur that, yeah, by golly, they kind of almost look like a wolf. But we don't have wolves here. They're over near New Mexico. We do have a lot of good-looking. There's a pair of coyotes that had just killed, no, not killed, the car hit a deer, knocked it down. I was going to take it up the mountain and give it to the animals. Well, they decided they could eat it right there. They pulled it down into a gully and feasted on it. This was with a trail camera taken. So I put the trail camera just on the deck and got a lot of neat pictures. What was cool about that is I'm learning how to use this, going the wrong direction. There we go. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble here, guys. There we go. Okay. Anyway, after the mom and baby mountain lion were done feeding, they literally were laying on their back, licking their paws and having a good time. All of a sudden, 2 coyotes are feeding on the same deer. As naturalists, we see new stuff every day. It's just amazing because we're looking for it. 2 coyotes feeding and the mountain lion's laying right over here. They don't like each other. They fed for a little while. The mountain lions then ran them off and finished the deer. I got my pictures. I went back the next day. There was a little piece of tuft of fur and 1 hoof. That was it. That was all left. This is an animal that's almost as rare to see as a mountain lion. They're here. You just don't see them. And we've got a lot of critters like that. There's just a lot of neat animals, but if you're not out looking for them and you're not hiking, a lot of the hikers see this stuff because they're out there, but you got to put hundreds and hundreds of hours in the field before you see this stuff.
Jerry, have you told them the difference between the
Badger?
Arizona badger and the Wisconsin badger?
No.
A lot of people didn't know badgers were here in Arizona. But as I understand it, Wisconsin badgers feed on cheese and drink beer. Arizona badger eats rattlesnakes and drinks tequila.
Thanks for that, Jim. This is the most common snake in Arizona. Venomous or non-venomous. This is the guy that's here all the time. We've removed probably half a dozen of these this year and relocated them just since the season started. Where you picked one up on what, 9? Anyway, Jim went down on one of the holes and 4 guys were putting, and he says, "Why don't you stop putting? There's a rattlesnake right there." Oh my God. So I relocated that for him. That's what they look like. Look at that head. Can't miss that. And well, let me go back here. See that tail, black and white banding? That's very significant for a western diamondback. There are other snakes that are similar, but if it's bright white and black, you can almost be guaranteed that it's a western diamondback. There you go. There's a good picture of the tail. This is the second most common rattlesnake in this area. It's called a blacktail. I can't point. See the end of the tail is black-tailed rattlesnake. The higher the elevation, I've got a picture of one of these. I should have put it in here. Maybe I will one day. This is about 4,200 feet, just up the hill here. At 8,000 feet, this turns into a golden yellow, just gorgeous, because it's a higher elevation. Maples, changing colors. You got gold leaves, red leaves, orange leaves, and they blend in much better. Mother Nature is just cool. There it is. Oh, there it is. I do have it. There it is. See how much prettier that is? You don't like my adjectives? I think they're beautiful and gorgeous and all that. Okay, here's a Mojave. People call these green Mojaves. There are some that are green, some that are tan, some that are brown. They're Mojaves, okay? So this guy has both neurotoxin and hemotoxin. He's kind of a bad actor, a little aggressive compared to other rattlesnakes, but we don't have them right here. Willow Springs Ranch Road out near the SaddleBrooke Ranch, yeah, that's where these guys are at. See the fangs? Now, if you want to take a picture like this, come to the bunkhouse. I'll set this up for you, and we can make it happen. We can. It's really cool. Coral snake. One thing you need to remember, we've got mountain king snakes that have similar colors but a different pattern. Mountain king snakes have a white tip on the head. Coral snakes, Sonoran coral snakes, it's always a black head. So just look for that head. Black head, coral snake. Don't mess with it. Although we have no record of anybody being envenomated by a coral snake, a Sonoran coral snake. And here you see the size-wise, they don't get any longer than that. They're what we call a fossorial snake. They're underground, under the rocks. And chances are you'll never see them unless you're out at night walking around, and this one's hunting. There's the king snake. See, it's a little hard here, but the tip of the nose got a black spot on its head, but the tip of the head is a white or cream-colored nose. And the pattern's much different, but again, people see those colors and they get all shook. Common king snake, we call this a desert form because it's got a lot of speckles on it, a lot of yellow. This is a good snake. If you get any king snake in your yard, if you don't like snakes, we'll come get it, remove it. But it's a great snake to have around. It eats rats, mice, other snakes, especially rattlesnakes. And we would prefer you just leave it alone. And if it goes around your yard for a day or two, can't find anything to eat, it's going to go to your neighbor. And hope your neighbors, there it is. There's a quintessential California king snake or common king snake right there. We got one out in the lobby there for you to look at. Now, we talked about a king snake eating a rattlesnake. All right? I'm just a photographer, okay? I can't tell this king snake how to eat his rattlesnake. Ordinarily, you eat them from the head. It's a lot safer. This started eating it from the tail. I'm just shooting pictures. I don't know if I've got a picture here of this one or not, but yeah. I don't know if you can tell the fangs. You see the blood on the fangs? The rattlesnake hit the king snake many times. The king snake's immune to the venom, okay? It's just an irritant. This is the last picture I got before he was totally consumed. And he was upset. But it's a hard picture to understand because the snake swallowing another snake from the rear. So, gopher snake, another very common snake. We got one out there. Another great snake to have in your yard. Eats all the rats and mice and other snakes. This is a gopher snake. We had a pair that the female laid 11 eggs, 8 of the eggs hatched, and we gave all those babies to kids. After mom and dad okayed it, of course. And a lot of people call these racers. They come in red, black, banded, pink bellies, purple bellies. Beautiful snake. It's the most bitey, what I call bitey snake we have. I've picked up probably 25 of these in my life. 2 of them have not bitten me. The other, they just bite. That's just what they do. We handle them, and they bite us, we handle them, and pretty soon the more we handle them, the more calm they get. And we can let certain people who are into it handle them if they like. See there? He's not ready to be handled yet, sorry. There's the pink face, or red. And the old Gila monster, right? That's what people from back east call it, so that's okay. We have the one out there that's just about as big as they get, almost 2 foot long. And that's a good size, big size Gila monster. Another animal we see usually around April, May, and then into October. They come out a couple times a year to mate, lay eggs, eat, and they have a forked tongue like a snake does, and they can sense what's in the air with that tongue. And if they're walking around out there and they're going, oh, I think I taste quail eggs, and they make a beeline for that. And if there's 10, 12, 15 eggs, they will sit down there and eat all of them. They'll belch a little bit, go underground, and they're done for the season. That's all they can eat. Same thing with a nest. If they find a nest of baby rats or mice or even a small rabbit, they will eat them all, and then they're done, because they don't get to feed very often. Another gopher snake. What's going on here? Oh, he loaded these twice. There you can see the forked tongue of the Gila monster. Very fleshy, and I've taken 2 people to the hospital bitten by these guys. Do you know anything about that, Jim? I thought you knew about that. You don't want to talk about it? Okay. All I know is when I took him to the hospital, he wanted me to shoot him. He said, "Do you have a bullet in your gun?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Would you just shoot me?" The pain, folks, is unbelievable. I asked him, "Would you rather get bit again by a Gila monster or a rattlesnake?" He said, "Oh, the rattlesnake." We've both been bitten by rattlesnakes. So.
Yeah, I've been bitten twice by rattlesnakes, once by a Gila monster. The good news is it's been 75 years since my last rattlesnake bite, so I'm getting a little better at it. But the Gila monster, I was trying to save its life, and that's the appreciation he gave me.
Yeah, we relocate these when we can. If you see one of these crossing the street, if you can stop traffic and just let it continue on, or if not, just kind of get a rag or something, he'll bite it, pick it up, move it across, drop it, he'll let go and run away. So
Leave the rag and come back and get it the next day.
Yeah. So we like to save everything, sorry. If you folks can ever, and it's just so rare, see any lizard species, especially the horned lizard, when that baby comes out of the egg, yeah, it's incredible. It really is. There's my favorite lizard, the ones that do the push-ups, you know. That's in full mating regalia. He's ready to go. We have two species of gecko in our area, western banded, which is the native, and Mediterranean, which is introduced. One of the few introduced species that hasn't wiped out the other species. And the reason is this guy is on the ground eating your bugs all around your house. The Mediterranean is on the wall eating the bugs around your light. So they don't bother each other. So we don't exterminate the other ones. Now, he does have a neat tongue. He can clean his own eyeball. Isn't that cool? They do have eyelids. The species does, by the way, but he still cleans his eyelids. That's what's in that trap. It just kills me. Cottontail. Lots of cottontails on the golf course.
Back to the whiptail.
Mm-hmm. You want to see it?
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting because this is a female. You know how I tell the difference? They're all female. They do reproduction through what we call parthenogenesis. There are no males. And my wife, when I pointed that out to her, said, "Sounds like a great idea."
Well, they were coming to that, huh? 3 rabbits in the area. Cottontail, which is a rabbit. Black-tailed jackrabbit, which is a rabbit. Now, if I did this right, the antelope, which is truly a hare, but we call them jackrabbits. It's the only hare we have.
You can tell the difference a lot by the ears. And as I did the research on that, I discovered that Bugs Bunny wasn't a bunny. He was a hare. You could tell by his ears.
You folks have probably all seen the mule deer in the golf course and stuff running around. We lose several a year by cars driving too fast on the roads. And Jim is often called to put them down. And we have certain rules to go by from Arizona Game and Fish. We try to adhere to those best we can. These guys, I swear they get drunk on these fresh, new seed pods from mesquites. I've watched their eyes roll back in their head. They just love them. It's like eating ambrosia or something. We have 4 skunks in this area. We've trapped and relocated all 4 species. They raise cane in your garden. They're looking for grubs. They're looking for Palo Verde grubs. You plant a garden and you brought in soil and they got grubs, they'll tear your yard up. That's the second species.
Should you ask us to remove a skunk, trap it, remove it, we will gladly do that, and people want to know the process. We have a heart trap, a big one, in a big plastic garbage bag, leave the bag open, skunk again, gets caught in a trap, we shut the bag, and we put the bag in the back of your car and tell you where to let them out.
Oh yeah, we're just trappers. My favorite. These are so cute. They're just tiny little guys. Now, do you see what you got pointed at me? And this one got me. This striped skunk. So like I say, we always put them in an area where we can photograph them. And the one guy charged me, and I put my foot up like this, and he hit the fence, and those pants are in the landfill. You've all seen these, right? Anybody not seen a collared peccary or a javelina? Yeah, I mean, they're just everywhere. Oh boy, I did something wrong here. Here we go. Oop. Aw. These are called reds when they're first born. We call them reds. And we've helped rehabilitate quite a few of these and get them back to their group. They are precious little critters. I'm going to tell, we're adults here, so I'm going to tell you this story. I got a call, somebody got one of these in the yard, and a little red, a couple days, still had the umbilical cord hanging down from it. I'm in my usual attire, Levi's and a white t-shirt. So I go up there and I grabbed it, I'm holding it like this. Don't do that. My nipple is still swollen. And I don't wear holy t-shirts, so I had to throw the t-shirt away. Man, that hurts. Raccoons, how many raccoons did you take out of that one house, Jim?
13 out of one house and 5 up in the other.
Don't,
You're not living in the house with the 13 foot.
the guy had 2 houses, stored stuff in one house, fancy cars, all his guns and stuff. So he wasn't there very often. And one time he went over there and noise and something smelled didn't right. Jim checked into it, and the attic was a stinking, nasty mess. He trapped all of these raccoons out of there. What happens is if you get a tree that hangs over into your top of your roof, you're just asking for trouble. Somebody's going to climb out there and jump in there, and where your walls come together, that little hole there, they're going to carve a little hole. We've got ring-tailed cats. Also in those, we've had them in the restaurants here. There's so many neat critters here we can play with. Isn't that pretty?
The official state mammal of Arizona, the ring-tailed cat.
And this here, you usually don't see one Cody by itself unless it's an old male or female that's been kicked out of the group. The most I've ever encountered one time was in the Santa Ritas, over 30 of them coming down a canyon. And I'm sitting on the hillside and I'm going, what Sam hell's going on? No, people don't have any respect for everybody else trying to enjoy nature. And these guys were just running around up in the trees and eating this and that, and it was great. But lots of mice. This is one of the most common ones we catch here. We love catching these because we feed them to our snakes. Every one we catch saves us $1.50. Okay? I don't like killing anything, but you're going to kill these. I know what you're going to do with them. You're going to trap them, kill them, and throw them away. Well, I can use them. Same thing here, desert pocket mouse. These are not common, but they're around here also. This is an infamous pack rat. It's a white-throated wood rat. Again, Jim's trapped thousands of them. I've trapped hundreds of them for HOA2. Desert tortoise. Squirrels in this area, rock squirrel, round-tailed ground squirrel, and Harris's ground squirrel, which looks like a chipmunk. In case you see that, it's not a chipmunk. That's my favorite. He looks like a little meerkat, about that tall. Isn't that cute? And this is the Harris's antelope squirrel. He does look like a chipmunk, but he's a squirrel. Can you tell which sex this is, a male or female? Oh, you can, okay. We'll go on to the next one. Those are the 2 most common nectar bats that come in when your yuccas are blooming, your century plants. They feed on those big flowers. These are pallid bats. These are the ones we get calls, Jerry, we've got these bats on our stucco right above our front door. And I say, is it near a light? Yeah. Okay, what do you want me to do? Can you get rid of them? You see the mess they make around there, the urine and the feces? They're federally protected. We can't touch them. But I can tell you how to get rid of them. We'll discuss that in private, okay, if you ever have a problem. But yeah, we can get rid of them humanely and without hurting them. This is the most common scorpion in your house, the bark scorpion. It happens to be the most toxic scorpion in North America. We're blessed to have it right here. Now, you see how it carries its babies on its back? Now, If you notice the pinchers, long, delicate pinchers, long, delicate tail with that big old stinger. These are the ones that are so narrow, they can get under your door jamb. And then they got 8 legs. At the end of each leg is 2 little toenails. So that's 16 toenails go up your wall, across the ceiling, and then guess what they do? They drop wherever they drop. Your sink, your toilet, your shower, your bed. Every year I get many people, yeah, I got stung in bed. It didn't sting me once, it stung me 3 times. Yeah, they can sting. How come it's not like a bee? They can just sting one time. Well, it just can keep at it, you know. So that stinger goes over the top, it pulls the prey into the mouth parts, and then stings it. The venom then starts to kill and digest that the prey.
So I tell them how to get around the house at night without getting stung by one. It's usually, you're barefoot, so you go put a slipper on. Unfortunately, lots of times they hide in the slipper.
Yeah,
So
true.
what I tell people is if I have to get up in the middle of the night, I don't put slippers on. I'm barefoot. I don't turn the light on, but I walk like this. That works. You get them first.
We have 3 primary scorpions in the area. This is the second one, striped tail or devil scorpion. You can see there's 2 stripes on the tail. It's a little bit more robust, not a big scorpion, but it's bigger than the bark. Where am I at here? That's one with babies on its back. Isn't that cool? Not cool. Okay. And this is the big guy, desert hairy. Can you see the hairs? Yeah. This gets 6 inches, 7 inches long. It's the largest scorpion in North America. So we are blessed with the most toxic and the largest right in our area. Oh, we're so lucky. This is the giant desert centipede. You'll notice that it's got dark head and tail. It has 1 pair of legs for each segment of its body. And the book, when you look it up, says they're 6 inches long. Those are the jaws. Yes, I have been bitten, and I've gotten them 10 inches long before. Don't mess with them. Male tarantula, fangs and venom. Black widow, brown widow. You do not want to get bit by these. These are bad actors, okay? Wolf spider, they're fun to play with. At night, you go out with a bright light and you can see their emerald eyes shining at you. When you're a kid and you don't have a lot of money, that's what you do. You go out there. Come on. Yeah, the infamous great horned owl. As you know, we've got lots of them in SaddleBrooke, lots of them. And I had to go pick one up the other day that had run into a wall and killed itself. Every year we get 1 or 2 that, unfortunately, they die. But we got lots of them. The red-tailed hawk babies, they're not real cute, are they? Most babies are cute, but those weren't. Oh, we're not doing too bad. Red-tailed hawk, probably the most common hawk in the area. Then the Harris's hawk. There's Jim's red tail. That's a red tail there. Sometimes they don't have red tails. Sometimes they have white bellies with a belly band. But, you get your book out, you'll see them. Very common in this area. This is the one that eats quail and dove. And, boy, I love watching them. They'll hit a dove or a quail on the ground and the feathers just explode. He'll take it up into a tree, put it into a crotch of a tree branch, and pluck it. Then he'll eat it. And then maybe just a piece of bone or a leg will be left in a mesquite tree. I just got a story a little while ago. One of our volunteers said he had one hit a dove in his yard, and the feathers just went boom. So the Cooper's hawk is plucking this right in his yard, and it's, pluck it. Okay. So there's all these feathers, and lo and behold, the guy he's saying, what's he gonna do with all those feathers? He does this, and the feathers all flew away. I said, see, something new. You just learn something new every day if you try it. Lots of Cooper's hawks. This, to me, is the best flyer in the world. Watch these guys fly and soar, never hardly moving their wings. Their primary feathers doing this. Neat animal. Another comment, we don't have crows in this area, just so you know. They're further up north in Arizona. We do have them, but we have two species of ravens, the Chihuahuan and the common raven. The Chihuahuan's over further east, but they're cool. They can fly like crazy too. They're really neat. Mourning dove, those are very common around here. Our little quail. Aw, I knew that was coming. That's it. So.